I reffing the match?
AVP?
What the f am I saying?
I'm gonna have to deal with Matt now.
I dream about the day I get to meet you.
On the iron, hell yeah!
Bleach is not a thing. It don't exist.
What? Whoa!
Go backstage, cry for a bit.
No. Am I repping the match?
The Steiner section.
I don't give a fuck about Jesse. The guy's a weirdo.
I'm not repping the motherfucking match. I'm not gonna say nothing about it.
Oh shit.
Welcome to the Roblania Network. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Roblania Network. I'm here with my good buddy, Jackson Steiner.
Hello, everyone.
And today we're going to be talking about just professional wrestling in general. We're going to be talking about all the great stuff. So let's talk about what you wanted to... We're just going to get straight into it. Let me actually going to pull up a notepad real quick just to mark these timestamps while we're going at it. Hope everyone's doing well today. We haven't done a Roblania Talk in a while, and as you can tell, we're not really talking about wrestling for the simple fact that we don't want to. So, yeah.
There's not really a lot going on in real wrestling today, but I will say this: I am going to be making a Steiner section this weekend or the next, guaranteed.
It's great, yeah. And honestly, I haven't been really... it's funny, I don't play Roblox yet. I'm still in the community. I don't play it at all, ever, so...
It's like the only time you really get on Roblox is to open studio, right?
Yeah, no, literally, the only time I play Roblox is just to go in studio. So for me to just talk about Pro Wrestling as if, I totally knew the landscape of everything is just so, that's why, I haven't been on the streams. It's because, there's always been someone else or, a bunch of people there because they actually know what they're talking about. And,
We've been busy.
We have been very busy. I've been doing a lot of, I've been doing a lot of stuff for Roblania Spider-Man and, just things that I find fun in general. Because that's, it's all about doing the stuff that you find fun. So, we are shifting gears and we're talking about pro wrestling. Jackson, what did you want to start off with? I know you had something about AEW.
Well, we're going to talk about a lot this podcast. We're going to talk about AEW, WWE, what's going on with that. I wanted to start with something that I've wanted to talk to you about is Wardlow in AEW. Now, a couple of weeks ago at Revolution, him and MJF, they split up. And now it looks like AEW is going to try and push Wardlow to be a big star. And I see a lot of people on Twitter claim and think that Wardlow can and will be a big star, but I don't know for sure because we've barely seen any promo work out of him because of his relationship with MJF, because that's a lot of what MJF is about, is just, him talking. But I don't know if Wardlow is ready for that main event spot. What do you think is?
Well, to be fair, we did see him cut that one promo. I think it was the night before. It was the night after he defeated MJF was defeated by CM Punk. He did cut that one promo, and it was what you would expect from a guy like Wardlow. It's kind of the standard stereotypical, and it's just as much as big as he is, there's just not much charisma. Personally, I just haven't really found the appeal with Wardlow. He's very good, very in ring wise. I think he does bring a pretty cool move set, and his style is pretty nice. However, it's just me personally. If you're gonna pose a question, can Wardlow be a main event star? I'm worried. I don't want him to be one because I have no investment in him. That's just my take.
I don't think AEW has given us enough or anything at all to invest into Wardlow besides the fact that he's not with MJF anymore.
Mm-hmm. What do you think he'd be a good solo act? Is what you're saying?
Good single act, but I just don't know if he's ready for that main event spot.
Okay. I agree. There's not really much to say about that. It's pretty a straightforward question. What else do we have? So tonight, right? Tonight there's going to be a lot of matches, a whole lot of stuff. Do you know the card? Let me look up the card actually. So yeah, they announced two title matches. Minoru Suzuki, or as Jackson likes to call him, what is it, Minoru or Mainoru? What did you call him?
Mayonnaise Suzuki.
Mayonnaise Suzuki,
Minoru
whatever. Yeah.
Suzuki.
It's for the ROH World TV Champion, Minoru Suzuki versus Samoa Joe, and then we have what is the
Eddie Kingston, Santa and Ortiz are fighting Jericho, Jake Hager,
CM Punk
Daniel
versus
Garcia.
Penta, Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs fight Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, MJF versus his kryptonite. I don't know what that is. I'm excited for tonight.
Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
They're
gonna go up against Redragon for the tag team titles.
Indeed.
I'm actually really looking forward to this show.
Me too. The one thing I did want to talk about is the concern about the whole ROH merger with AEW, because like if you know the ROH World TV Championship is being put on AEW television. My concern is they have not explained this whole the AEW ROH thing. You know, it's pretty straightforward that they bought ROH, but there hasn't really been that much context to what is going on. Like, is it developmental? Is it a third brand? I don't know, because it was competing with SmackDown and not SmackDown. It was competing with I think it was SmackDown and AEW at the same time or whatever. So that's just my problem with it. What are your thoughts on the AEW ROH merger?
Well, from everything that I've seen about Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor, he did it out of the fact that he loved Ring of Honor. And I don't know if he has everything in place already, because there has been reports that Tony Khan has been talking to Warner Media about how Ring of Honor should be a weekly television show. But I don't know what's going on. I feel like the fact that they did Supercard of Honor and then we haven't really heard anything much is a little weird, but Supercard of Honor in Dallas was a planned event for months that has already been had tickets sold. And Tony Khan has said that he doesn't want to do WrestleMania weekend events because he doesn't want AEW to seem lower than WWE. So I can understand why he feels that way. That's why he didn't cancel Supercard of Honor, because of the fact that tickets and all that was already. But besides that, I'm excited. I feel like Tony Khan can revitalize Ring of Honor if he can, really work on booking two companies each week if Ring of Honor does have a weekly show.
I think it's really impractical. I think that it's going to take a while to get used to, and it's probably going to be, because if Tony Khan's booking like what is it? It's 1, 2, Dark, AEW Dark Elevation, Rampage, and Dynamite. That's already like a handful. And then on top of that, you add ROH. My problem is that they are expecting, when CM Punk did his ROH entrance, there was a lot of people rightfully confused, and they were tweeting like, what is this? Because it's like you can't expect everyone to be following ROH. I never followed ROH. I was aware of his entrance. Quite fun, because of Roblox Wrestling. That's the only reason I understood CM Punk's entrance at Revolution. But like my main concern is, like, if you're gonna defend the ROH World Television Championship on the show, are they going to give context to the title? Are they going to give context? I mean, like, they are. My problem is context and explanation. I don't want ROH on my AEW program. As like mean as that sounds, I don't want them on my program. Like, I just want to watch AEW. I'm not an ROH guy. What can I say? I'm sorry.
Well, I will say this: they have not signed many of the members of the ROH roster, the roster that was, released from all their contracts last year. And if you noticed on Supercard of Honor, everyone who won a championship on that show is contracted to AEW, besides Suzuki, I believe. And obviously, the reason they're doing that is because they don't want their championships on people that aren't even with the company.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand your viewpoint, but I don't think we're gonna see Ring of Honor on AEW each week. But I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it's something fresh. It's more wrestling, so I feel like it gives
It's taking
room
away
for
from my
people-
Dynamite. That's the problem. It's
That's
taking away from
true,
my
but it also
Dynamite. I like
gives-
my Dynamite the way it is with my AEW stars. I could totally get into ROH if it's a separate entity. I watched ROH Final Stand and I really did like it. But I don't want to see it on. I think AEW Dynamite should be about the AEW stars. And to see the titles defended on the show, again, there's not really much explanation to why or how they're being defended. What does that mean for the roster? Is it being treated like an AEW title? Like these things just haven't been answered, and like you're expected as a fan of AEW to just suddenly be a mark about everything and be like, oh yes, and you can draw these like conclusions or whatever, but that's just not really like how like a casual fan would think, and like you gotta cater to both. You gotta like really be able to.
If that's the case, though, then how can you compare that to whenever Christian and Kenny Omega fought on Rampage for the Impact World title? How can you compare that, though?
I would say when they fought for the Impact World Championship, it was a lot more explained because you had Kenny holding multiple like world championships. When they did the Impact merger, they actually that whole Impact thing was very well explained. They put, first off, they were on Impact Television. They actually showed you like, hey, this is Impact. This is the Impact World title. Like they explained everything, but like with the thing with the ROH merger is that they're not explaining it as thoroughly as I think they should. You're just supposed to catch on that it's ROH, and that's just me.
No, I definitely understand your viewpoint.
Mm-hmm. Would you want to move on to the next topic, which is
Yeah, we can.
To the company that lost to AEW Dynamite, and that's NXT. The new World Championship, it's Rainbow.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people noticed it on last week's Dynamite. I didn't notice it until you posted that tweet. But I did say this to you before we started the podcast. I think the championship design does fit the NXT brand because, the color scheme, obviously. And they didn't remove the gold because I'm guessing that's a little nod to the old black and gold brand.
I don't think it's a nod. I think they just wanted to keep gold. I would have. Okay, so this was my main issue about the title changing like its design is that I didn't want it to be silver because that's what they did with ECW, right? They changed it and so it looked like a gigantic silver fucking title, which looked really ugly. So that was my
Looked like
only.
something I put in a china cabinet, honestly.
For sure. It's been a long time coming that they create a title that's, to the new NXT. It was going to happen one way or another. I just was worried about how it was going to look. This is exactly what I wanted. I didn't want it to be silver and rainbow. I didn't want it to be just rainbow. I wanted it this. I didn't know that they were able to do this, but now that they've done it, I'm fine with it. I think it looks pretty cool. There's not much to complain about. Like, in my personal opinion, I enjoy it. The women's title, though, I don't get why all the women's titles have to be white straps, but whatever. Are we good? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't timestamp that, fuck. So I'll just assume that's like 12 minutes? Yeah.
You can go back and change. Oh, can I just point out that Roblania is only 4 subscribers away from 700?
I did see that. That is quite nice. 700 you said?
Yes.
Okay. Natalya's on NXT. Thoughts? She's called the Boat.
Yeah. The fucking boat. I didn't know how to feel when Dolph Ziggler appeared on NXT television, but now that Natalya is on, just this soon after Dolph Ziggler was on NXT television, I get the idea that NXT is bringing in these people from the main roster to try and elevate these younger guys, and that could be a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing if they're not doing
Is
it
that the
properly.
case? Because, Braun Breaker lost to...
Yeah, that's the thing though. That's what I was about to say. It could go good, but it could go badly. And that's why this past weekend for NXT made no sense. The fact that you have Dolph retain at Stand and Deliver, then he loses the title on Raw, and then you put fucking Walter versus Braun Breaker on TV, which is a pay-per-view caliber match. Now I understand they wanted to bring Walter up to the main roster, but man, he should have had a run with the title, especially when he changed his name to Gunther, because it looked like he was, going to have a push in NXT, but he just never got the NXT title. I don't like that, and I really feel like he's not going to be with the company in the next few months, because I feel like they're going to mess him up, and they're going to blame it on him, and they're going to release him.
I will say that Natalya's promo work, when she was talking to Cora Jade, saying that she was the future.
Oh, yeah, I went off topic.
Yeah, no, you're good. She said like she was the future, but then she said the future is bleak. Like she was really emotional too. Like I really didn't think that she could. She seemed like, it was pretty obvious that she was acting, but it was a nice form of acting. It was a little bit better and less cornier than I see on main roster Natalya. And obviously she turned heel, and then now she's like she put the whole locker room on notice or whatever. The whole being on notice thing doesn't really Natalya as a chump. Hasn't won a world title in let's say years now.
Yeah, that's true. But they're putting her on the NXT brand, and with her on that show, it's giving the women on that show something to work for and fight for. And I'm sure a lot of those people on the women's roster would love to fight Natalya.
Yeah, for sure. Just don't think that she. It's funny because Dolph Ziggler came down and they treated him like the biggest deal ever, and it's like it's a man roster star, but are they really that good? Because I've watched your show. They're not that good, but it's whatever. Any last thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I'm just hoping that if they keep bringing people from the main roster to NXT, they do it right. If it's to help elevate that younger talent, obviously, yes.
As we all say. So, there was a tease on Young Rock, right?
I'm sure a lot of people saw it on Twitter last night because it kind of blew up on my feed.
And it was pretty funny. It was young Roman Reigns, Joe saying, "Acknowledge me," and then Rock said, "When he's older, when he's older, something could happen."
A match that big can only happen at WrestleMania.
For sure, yeah, that's what he said.
That's
Thank
what
you.
The Rock said.
Yep.
On the show.
I would love this to happen. I think this is the ultimate.
They also, I saw a clip posted because of the Young Rock one from Roman Reigns' WWE Evil episode, and at the end of it, they teased a WrestleMania match between The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Interesting.
So I feel like they definitely want to do Roman versus Rock. They're not gonna do anything on the actual WWE program, on TV to set it up, because The Rock is one of the busiest guys in the world. There's no telling if he can do a WrestleMania or not. So, but they're definitely putting pieces in place for that match to happen. I will say that.
So first off, do you think that this was an intentional
Oh,
tease?
I think it was. I think it was. I just feel like they're playing it by ear and, playing the fact that maybe a match is going to happen. I feel like they're planning on it, but they're just not, you don't know if it can happen or not because of The Rock.
If it were to happen, I think it'd be bigger than Roman versus Brock. Do I have faith in WWE to book it the way it should be? No, but do I have faith in Paul Heyman and Roman to deliver a good story? I think so. Yeah, I think this is the ultimate main event. But it kind of poses the question of after that big match, there's not really that many big stars that you can bring in to fight Roman after that, because they're not building any stars. So honestly, after that, there's no big money headline match, which I thought was a crazy thing to take away from that. It's a little bit alarming.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
When Brock Lesnar back in 2015, when he was like a fucking monster, and he barely showed up when he was holding the title, do you think if Roman Reigns went on that kind of schedule, his championship reign would probably be, I don't know really how to say it, but
If he was on
like appreciated a lot more by the fans. I will say that.
No, because nobody appreciated Brock being champion and never being on the show. Nobody likes that, regardless of who's champion.
No, that's the thing though. Brock could have come every week. It's just with the way that Roman Reigns' character is, and the fact that they don't have many talent on the roster as posable threats to Roman, I feel like if he had, now I'm not going to say the exact same kind of format schedule as he had in 2015, but if he didn't like show up, I don't want to say every week, but I don't know, not like every single week he shows up, I feel like his reign would have more legitimacy in the eyes of the fans.
Okay,
I
so
really do.
the thing about Brock not showing up every week is that he didn't show up every week because that was a part of his gimmick. That was a part of his character. No, he didn't show up every week because he just simply wasn't going to be at the show, didn't want to be at the show, and money, whatever, That it's not the same reason as a storyline. I mean, it became one because, Brock's not there every week. So, oh my God, we got to spin it. Paul's really good at doing that. But the thing with Roman, if he's not doing that, if you take out Roman from the shows, the shows are going to be terrible. Have you seen SmackDown without Roman?
Yeah, a month or two ago.
So I would say no. I would say absolutely no, because without Roman on the show, it's going to be terrible, because SmackDown is already terrible, and Roman happens to be the only one good thing on the show.
How does Roman keep having good matches? Like, they're just now teasing a match between him and Shinsuke. They're teasing him and Cody. Part of me feels like Roman should lose maybe 2 or 3 matches before he fights Rock, just because it will show that Roman isn't as protected as people think he is.
Why would you do that? Why would you pin your world champion who has both titles? He hasn't been pinned in like 900 days. That's the whole mystique around him. That's why the payoff to someone pinning him that's what makes someone pinning him. That's what makes it elevated. That's what makes it important. If he gets pinned before that, then that would be.
But are they really gonna wait on The Rock to beat Roman?
No, I never even said that he needs to beat him. I think that Roman should go over ultimately.
Definitely.
This is my thing. I don't think Roman's getting stale. I just think that he's been feuding with Brock so long, he's never really had the chance to have the next Cesaro storyline, have the next
yeah, I get that.
underdog come up. I think Roman can be good. He can be good. He does great whenever he doesn't have a big star. It's funny. His feud with Cena was basically a repeat of the one from like 2017. So I found that when Roman isn't doing those like big headline matches, he does pretty well. In my eyes, I think that the time will come for Roman to lose the title, but honestly, I could see this going until WrestleMania 38. The next person I could see beating him is, maybe Braun Breaker, but that's mainly because there's no other stars being built from the ground up to take him down. So yeah, I wouldn't have him lose to The Rock. I don't want The Rock I mean, I want The Rock back in WWE, but I don't want him to be champion because then we're gonna get a repeat of like 2014 where it didn't matter at all. But you know, in regards of his future plans, I'd like to just see some more underdogs. You know, the next Cesaro, even though Cesaro's not in the company anymore. I mean, like, you know, the next person to fill in those shoes. What would you want to see?
That's the thing. There's not a lot of guys left on the roster for Roman to have a good feud with. But you know, Roman hasn't had a proper feud with Drew McIntyre besides their match at Survivor Series.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's important.
I really think that would be a good match for the and we were going to talk about that, the stadium show in UK in September.
That was another thing too. I forgot. Someone made a video about who should dethrone Roman, and he said that Drew McIntyre would be the great one to like really establish him as a main eventer, which he has not been treated lately. But you know,
he's been in a feud with Happy Corbin for like 6 months.
Oh, you know, another thing, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes could definitely be another option to take Roman down. I think because you know the whole story is there about him wanting the world title. And that's a way to get the world title off Roman.
I saw something, dude.
Kenny
So
Omega
I saw something on Twitter about how the fact that the day you remember the photo that Cody showed on Titantron of Dusty holding up the title last week.
Mm-hmm.
So the date that happened, that date this year falls on a Monday. And I saw someone post it'd be cool if Cody beat Roman on that and took the title. But that wouldn't make sense because why the fuck would Cody take the title on Raw?
Yeah, no. If it was on any other day, that'd be awesome. But no way in hell Roman's losing his world championship on a Monday Night Raw.
Definitely.
But the United Kingdom pay-per-view, I think that's the next stop, right? Drew versus
WrestleMania. It beat WrestleMania when it comes to pre-sale tickets to registering to go.
Yes, more than actually. You know what? Let's just I
think the number was 65,000.
No, the number was actually 59,000 people pre-registered tickets for the September WWE United Kingdom pay-per-view at Principal Stadium. It's in Cardiff, and that was all in the span of 24 hours. So, hey man, you excited?
I'm very excited. It's been a long time coming for WWE to go back to the UK and have a major show there. Because the last major show that they had in the UK was SummerSlam 92, whenever Bret Hart and British Bulldog headlined.
Drew McIntyre's always been saying that he wants to main event a pay-per-view in England. Do you think this could be do you think we're getting Roman versus
I feel like
Drew?
I feel like if they were gonna do that feud at any event, that would be the perfect event to do it at, because it's in the UK and Drew McIntyre, ever since he became WWE champion in 2020, he made it his goal to have WWE hold another pay-per-view in the UK, and he's probably the most happiest person on the roster for this.
My thing is that I really it's nice to know that there could be a direction. Not that there is a direction, but that there could be a direction for Roman's title reign, because I've been a little scared for it, but good for the UK.
Saw a report that said WWE has no idea what to do with Roman Reigns as unified WWE Universal Champion. And can I ask you a question? Besides of the fact that he's holding up 2 championship titles, does the unifying both championships make sense to you?
I think they booked themselves into a corner that they didn't need to go in, but they put the world title on Brock. I would have just, in that elimination chamber, I guess you can't really pin Brock, so they
tried doing. Here's the thing. They tried doing like 2 different storylines, and to have it all culminate with Roman and Brock. They took the title off Big E for this thing.
Oh, dude, isn't it so crazy how it's so forgettable that Big E was champion?
I know.
That
And
is so sad.
It really seemed like they were gonna have him hold the title for a little bit because of all the shit he was doing. You know, with all the media appearances, the Fury and Wilder fight, him, introducing both of those guys.
And now he got his own singles theme too. Which is banging, by
He
the way. I
got that
love it.
before he won the title.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, the whole singles run presentation was there. Like, Big E was there. And the build to him winning the world title, yeah, sure, it was rushed, very rushed, but we got there. And it genuinely amazes me that I forgot that it just poofed out of my mind that he was even world champion for like, what, 2 weeks? I forgot. I genuinely...
It was like less than 2 months.
I had no idea. I just remembered that. So it was Big E, Brock, Bobby, Brock,
Seth Rollins,
Kevin
Owens. They turned it into a fatal 5-way because Roman and Brock were supposed to fight.
I don't even know. I don't even know where we're going with this anymore. Can we move on to the next one?
Yeah, we can.
Tommaso Ciampa, Raquel Rodriguez, formerly known as Raquel Gonzalez, and Gunther, all on SmackDown/Raw. Thoughts?
Well, I'm glad they haven't changed anything about Tommaso yet. I'm expecting the worst, to be honest, because Ciampa has always said he doesn't want to leave NXT. He said he would retire before he would leave NXT. And he did say something not too long ago about how if they gave him 5 minutes, he'll do the best he can. Like he said, it's something about if he does comedy for 5 months, and he'll do the best at it. But to me, it just seems like Tommaso Ciampa is losing his passion for wrestling.
That's a bold statement. It's not like you know him.
Yeah, that's true, but it's just, I don't know. It's just how I feel it from my perspective.
I think you're losing faith in him. That's what really, and you're just projecting your instability of his.
I'm losing faith in WWE for making him right. I'm not losing faith in him.
They debuted him in an interview segment where he got one line, which I think is the real crime if you were going to debut him, because there's potential talks of him. I was on the Wrestle Talk podcast. They were talking about how if there's potential rumors that he's going to join Edge's new heel faction, why didn't you just debut him in the heel faction? Especially because Damian Priest just didn't even nobody lost or won AJ Styles versus Damian Priest. He just appeared in purple lighting and then left. Would have been better if Tommaso Ciampa went in there, right? It's just
definitely,
it's crazy. I feel like there's so many more options in terms of Tommaso Ciampa. I think he'll be fine as long as he can align himself with somebody like Edge. If he doesn't, it's tough, man. Like, I honestly, you can't say anything anymore. Like, Raquel debuts in an interview segment. And as Rodriguez, the most unnecessary name change on earth. It gets me feeling like Tommaso Ciampa's gonna become Ciampa or something. It's like I don't want them to ruin the presentation to people, but the thing with these main roster call-ups is that like it's always the same shit over and over again. One thing that I will say, in terms of presentation, they've gotten better because they haven't been. Nobody's being given a completely different gimmick, right? Tommaso Ciampa comes and he's himself. Sure, he has different theme music, but essentially his in-ring work and like his character are the same. Raquel Rodriguez, we don't know yet. She still is, by her presentation, I would assume that she's still, strong, badass character. Gunther, while his name is Gunther, he still looks like, his in-ring style and his, like, presentation are still the same. So that's the only thing I will say. I think they've realized that completely repackaging people is just not it. Like Bearcat Lee is not, it's just not it. But You know,
You
hey,
did
man.
mention Keith Lee. We talked about it before about how the report from Dave Meltzer that WWE asked Keith Lee to lose weight for the main roster and he didn't, so he ended up in a different company, and they asked Walter to lose weight and he did. There was a body transformation and he looks good. You want to talk about that?
Gunther looks great. Yeah, no, his like if you saw his recent photos, his shoulders are defined. You know, he's definitely been on a cut. He looks amazing. However, as great as him being in like good shape is, I kind of preferred him the other way. Him being more bulkier and because that was a cool part of his presentation. You know, it's great, but him being skinnier honestly kind of makes him look less intimidating, if that makes any sense. But good for him. And don't be mistaken. It's a great thing for him. I just, you know, we have to wait to see how it is. I'm excited to see where they go in like the next month. I don't know if they're gonna go anywhere because I doubt they have any storylines planned. But you know, the main roster kind of does need a lot of people on there right now. So at least they're actually utilizing. You know, their main roster call-ups because you know, the previous few like in 2021 were just ridiculous. You know.
Yeah.
What is okay, so I saw the announcement. It says Tony Khan will make a cinema AEW Dynamite. What does that mean?
I know what you're talking about. Fucking Tranquilo Club made that graphic. That's just a fan-made thing.
Okay, I see.
There's like this running joke from Tranquilo Club where he likes to call AEW Cinema.
But it's
Because,
not.
Because he says like how the other company likes to make popcorn flicks while AEW is making cinema.
Gotcha. Okay.
I will say this about differences between AEW and WWE, and obviously it's fucking given, but I'm just gonna explain it to people who don't understand. Obviously, WWE is more story based, and AEW, like, have you noticed how? A's, I don't know if you follow the AEW rankings on their social media, but whenever people complain about how like Ruby Soho is on AEW Dark, it's because like people who are high in the rankings, they're gonna be on Dynamite. They're gonna be on that TV. That's why you haven't seen Ruby Soho, is because she's not on the rankings. I feel like
No, I highly disagree with that. I highly disagree with that. You are telling me that their women's division does not deserve any excuses, because it is abysmal the fact that they have like one women's match per show and there's like barely any women's storylines that exist. One thing that WWE does better than AEW and has been doing better than AEW for a long time now is their women's division.
Making
First in
women's
NXT,
stars.
first in NXT, and now on the main roster, honestly, because there's like, look, at least you know, WWE has subplots for their women's division. AEW does not have that right now.
In the past 7 years, WWE has made a shitload of top stars in WWE, like fucking Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Sasha, Bailey, you know, everybody, Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley. But when you look at AEW, there's, you know, Britt Baker, Jade Cargill, and that's it. I feel like AEW likes to focus on the world championships, and that's why, you know, Britt Baker got so much TV time this past year. I don't know how AEW can fix their women's roster. What do you think, is?
I mean, they have a lot of, you know, if you need stars, stop signing so many men's stars. give that same attention to the women's division. I think more women's stars, but they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of female talent. You could totally just, I don't know, give them more storylines. Like I know Serena, what is it? Serena Deeb's been doing like the professor gimmick where she's defeating people, but that's not like a storyline, you know? And then we have shit like, we haven't even talked about Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara, where...
Oh my gosh, fuck this shit.
Alright, let's talk about that then. Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti. I'll just let you go, because you seem passionate about this.
So... Sammy Guevara, I fucking loved Sammy Guevara, especially when he won the TNT title, because he really worked for it. I really feel like he did, and he was just starting to step out of Chris Jericho's shadow. And now they're not even, you know, on the same story anymore, so I'm glad Sammy's on his own, but I will say this, this all started on social media, because the AEW fans, just fans in general, they wanted to keep getting their nose into the fucking business of, you know, Sammy ending his relationship with his fiance and then going to Tay Conti, shit like that. I feel like because the fans pushed so much of that shit and wouldn't leave their lives alone, they said fuck it, and they're like putting their entire life on television. Bro, they made a sex tape with the TNT title. Oh, that's the same championship Brody Lee held. You kidding me?
Well, it was an interim one, but yeah.
Whatever. Still, you know, the championship meaning and the legacy of it, and what, you know, the people who have held that title, even though the company's been going for 3 years and there's not that many championship holders, I feel like Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti, you know, kind
Edge
of
had a live sex celebration while champion. Wait, was he champion? I don't know. Was he?
No, he wasn't champion. They posted that photo. They took the photo after Sammy won the title.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. No, but I'm talking about there's historical precedent for, sadly, people having sex
Yeah,
regarding a championship. It's not good though. I'm not defending it. It's not good. I don't. You know, honestly, it was fine. It would have been fine if the wrestling community got behind it, but they didn't, and I think it's because Tay Conti and Sammy Guevara aren't really that likable. Their charisma is like, you know, Tay Conti, I enjoyed her when she was on her singles run, when she was actually in the women's division, and as far as Sammy Guevara goes, honestly, I just never really thought he had that great of charisma. I love his in-ring work. I love how he looks. But I can't get behind them, man. When they're in the ring, they sound so fucking stupid. Like, it's so cringe. It's so...
They're shoving their relationship down our throats. And that's, you know, it's what the wrestling community kind of gets because they put it on themselves.
It's like,
you know?
when Becky Lynch teamed up with Seth Rollins. And they're like, hey, they're a couple. They're together. But, like,
they weren't doing the shit that Sammy and Tay are doing, though. They weren't doing the shit Sammy and Tay were doing, though.
Yeah, I get it. It's just, they're so unlikable. But I guess that's really all you can say, you know? Because that's really it. They're just unlikable. It is what it is. And I think with that, we've gotten through all of our topics. Is there anything else you want to discuss?
I mean,
we're at 40.
fuck it. What's going on in Raw Wrestling, if anything? I know that SCW is going on their farewell tour. They're ending soon. Also, Mighty Runnels, bro, something about his leg or arm is fucked up. I saw a post on Twitter. I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. I enjoyed my time at SCW, working for them, writing for them, even though it wasn't that long. In terms of wrestling, man, I can't tell you what's going on. Other than the SCW farewell tour, I can't tell you what's going on.
I said it on Twitter. SCW felt like a mix between a big time promotion and like an old school territory. because of the fact like they were in the South. That's what I liked about SCW, was that they were really unique.
I just like them for their
When it
story
comes-
work. I never necessarily liked them for their. I was never a big fan of like the South thing, but I was a gigantic fan of the stories. Man, they were so good. They like you go to an SCW show and you actually feel like you're watching a show. You know.
It was a really great Fed.
Does anyone
Yeah,
actually
but-
row wrestle? Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like an old, like one of those, you know, the alumni who's like, wrestling's dying. I don't think wrestling's dying. I don't think it ever will. But like, do people still like do this like every week? Do they like log on their PC and like go to a Fed? Is this like I know I probably sound stupid right now, but it's just a profound concept. Just because I don't do that in my life anymore, and I just don't have time to, even if I wanted to. So I just find it crazy how it's still like. I mean, I guess like the new gens, like they come up and that's just how it is, and that's just a cycle of life. But I just find it crazy how this cycle just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, there really isn't a lot happening in Pro Wrestling, and I mean,
Not that I know of. I guess my feed's just not full of wrestling anymore like it used to be. It's just kind of dry. Not dry. I don't know. My personal Twitter is no longer reserved for like certain things.
there's like, it's funny. There's no stars being made in Pro Wrestling, just like WWE. There's no stars being made.
I
Like-
can't. Yeah, that's the thing. Stars will get. I'll get their names. I can still get their even if I'm not like at every show. I'll still get their names of like the new people. But I just like who's the, you know, the new Justice League or whatever, or fucking I don't know, the new, you know, what are they called? You know what I mean, like the top guy.
You remember Blitz Jordan? You remember him, right? I saw a clip he posted on Twitter a couple of days ago, from an Imperiality show in November, and he got a huge fucking pop, bro. Huge pop. And that's what I loved about Imperiality, is that I feel like Imperiality could make stars, because, dude, their matches and how Sean and Fizzo were booking those shows were great. And I miss Imperiality. I really do.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention that one of our videos just came out. It's tips for Fed owners. And yeah, a lot of Feds, like a lot of my friends are also stepping away from the community too. Actually, most of my friends are just gone from the community.
I feel like, you and I have, I don't know if I really want to say this, but we've always talked about like not doing real wrestling anymore, and you know,
For
covering
sure,
something
man.
else.
Everyone's talked about leaving wrestling. Everyone.
It's just this shit isn't exciting anymore.
For me,
Well, damn.
it's kind of just the casual part of the thing where you can like tune out or whatever, but it's just not in the stars for me anymore. It's like and I know I say this and every week there's a new video on wrestling, but you guys gotta understand that these videos are from months ago. I uploaded them all months ago and they're just on a schedule now. So that's really just like how we keep the channel running, and it does well and we do great and we keep growing. But
I'll say this: the only way we can make Roll Wrestling content anymore is if we just keep interviewing older guys, and eventually that will get stale and we won't have any other guys to interview.
yeah.
Like,
The other
We've
problem is
always-
that we're not very in touch with the community, so we can't. We don't know how to interview people anymore. But you know, maybe
all I can ask anymore is just basic ass questions. So, what year did you join Roll Wrestling? What was your favorite Fed? Who are some of the greatest guys you faced in the ring?
Yeah.
It's just, there isn't anything happening in Roll Wrestling to the point where we can get juicy stuff, you know? There's nothing.
I'm sure
I miss the drama.
it's just because we're not as active in the community. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff happening, but we're just not aware of it because it's not getting to us. which may be our fault, but I'm content with the way things
It's weird
are.
because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to be the fact that we're out of touch. Because I was talking to, I think I was talking to Payne, like a couple of weeks ago. I sent him a DM and he said that Pro Wrestling is thriving right now. So we might just be out of touch.
It's just not getting to us, I guess, you know?
You guys want to come work for Roblania and make videos? A's is too busy making a movie, and
Who are you talking about?
I'm just talking about anybody. Anybody of our viewers want to come make a Pro Wrestling video?
Someone messaged me.
wanna
I
be
heard
on the
about
re-
the network you got.
I
I
wanna
was
be on the
wondering
network.
if I could be in one. I was like, what the fuck are you
One what?
talking about? Oh my
One
god.
way.
So I think we're gonna end it there. We've been on for about an hour now, so
Thank you guys for watching.
thank you guys for watching.
It's
The viewer
nice to
count was
hop on
insanely
here.
low, but that's also because we are doing this on a random Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
And I legit posted a tweet right when we went live.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, so everyone have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys later, I guess. I mean, there's not really much to say. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Enjoy Dynamite tonight if you guys are watching.
You can just see the tone switch between when we talk about raw wrestling and actual wrestling. There's just a
I
sudden
swear,
peak.
bro.
There's a peak of interest, and then it goes all the way down once we start talking about raw wrestling.
Oh my gosh, we'd probably get more views if we made podcasts on porn or some shit. I don't know.
Dude, what? Like, yeah. Who's a popular porn? Like Belle Delphine. We put her on the thumbnail. Yeah, man.
Bro,
we would have gotten a
1,000
ton of
views
people.
immediately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Porn review. We just sit down. We get some food, and we're
We
like,
put Mia Khalifa on the thumbnail. We're gonna get at least 100 viewers, but when they realize we're just talking about WWE, they're gonna fucking.
we gotta do that once. We gotta put like Mia Khalifa and Belle Delphine on the thing just to see who clicks on it. Okay,
we gotta
yeah.
make a podcast about the most random shit. Like, we're gonna talk about composting.
Talk about the state. Like, we're gonna talk about the state of the political climate today on Roblania Talk. Okay, yeah, but thank you all for watching. I'm gonna end the stream now.
Bye.